join before we Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Want to thank everyone for joining this evening for the District 2 Community Meeting number 1 to talk about the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan for Calaveras County. My name is Mark Doty. I'm a project manager with TJKM. We are assisting the county in working on this Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. And Melissa, if you want to go to the next slide. We have Micah Martin, who is the Director of Public Works with Calaveras County on the line also. And then with TJKM, again, I'm Mark Doty, Project Manager. Ruta Jariwala, who is our principal and also task lead on this project. And then Grishma Padnya is also a transportation planner and a task lead helping the county. And then with GHD, Melissa Estrada is helping actually run the meeting, and Sarah Glick as well with GHD. So we will go on to our next slide, which is the agenda. So we'll go through what is a comprehensive safety action plan. We'll talk about the process, the collision analysis findings for the county overall, and then bring it down to actually District 2. We'll talk about the high injury network. Then Melissa will go through the project webpage and outreach component, which is where we're really looking forward to having feedback from the community at large about the project. We're talking about what your role as a safety champion is within this project. Then we'll open it up for discussion, answer any questions you may have about the process, the project, anything that's going on. Again, for you to tell us any areas that we may have missed that weren't part of our initial collision analysis findings, and then we'll discuss next steps as well. So whenever we talk about the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan, Calaveras County is developing this, and they were given a grant that was funded by the U.S. Department of Transportation under the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. And with the aim of this grant in this Comprehensive Safety Action Plan is to improve safety on roadways and intersections there within the county. Some of the guiding principles: we want to prioritize human life over speed or convenience. We want to recognize that traffic deaths and severe injuries are preventable, but we also understand that, we want to make sure that we account for human error as well. So whenever we design roadways or try to make them safer, we want to account for that. Sometimes promoting slower speeds will help create safer roadways for all users. We also want to expand safe transportation options, not just for people that drive their car, but also for people that are walking and biking and motorcyclists as well. We want to advance roadway safety equitably using our strategies and enforcement. We want to also address collision risk proactively and reactively. Again, we do understand through the data that we have that there are some areas that are consistently more problematic, but sometimes the data doesn't tell us all we need to know about what's going on in the county. There may be areas where near misses are occurring or where there are unsafe areas, speeding or other habits that are also unsafe that we need to know about as we craft this comprehensive safety action plan. We want to align the transportation and land use policies to support the safety goal. And hopefully we will implement proven and innovative strategies to help with the ongoing monitoring and the communicating to the public about why this is important. Because the ultimate goal is to eliminate all traffic-related fatalities and serious injuries with a commitment within the county to making roads, vehicles, and traffic systems as safe as possible for all users. So as we talk about the process itself, we started this in April of this year. We collected all the collision data from several databases that are available to us, as well as talking with the Sheriff's Department there in Calaveras County. We looked at a 5-year period, the latest data that we had, which was 2020 through 2024. Our engineers on our side looked at the collision trends and the needs analysis. We did only consider killed and severe injury collisions only. Then we identified the high risk or high injury network, both countywide, and then we started looking it down into each district itself. And so those look at the highest number of fatal and severe injury collisions within those roadways or at those intersections. So we are at where the star is in our first stakeholder and community input meetings that we're having. We had our District 1 meeting last week. We will have our technical advisory committee meeting, which is made up of city staff, members of the Sheriff's Department, and also the fire district. We'll talk with them next week, give the same presentation to them, and start getting their initial feedback and input. After we get this initial round of public feedback done, we'll start developing our safety countermeasures, which are those things that we think may help cut down on those fatal and severe injuries within Calaveras County. We'll have our second round of TAC and stakeholder input, and then we'll start integrating our plan and prioritizing those improvements. We'll come back to this group, to each district. We will have in-person district meetings where we will actually say, these are the priority projects that we have identified based off of the collision analysis and also from the community feedback that we've received. And then y'all will, as a community or a district, will say, this looks great, or you really need to think about maybe a couple more areas. After we get that feedback, then we'll draft the plan. We'll have it available for review to the public, and then hopefully it will go for a final review and approval by the Board of Supervisors, probably by March or April of next year. So if we go to the next slide. So these are the collision analysis findings, again, for the years 2020 through 2024. As you can see, you can look at the fatal and severe injury. You had 21 fatal during that time. Severe injury was 75. Your visible injury and complaint of pain, then with a total of 356 injury collisions occurring within Calaveras County within that time period. Did want to make a note that the collision data that we pulled is on county maintained roadways only. We did not consider collision data on the Caltrans maintained facilities. So your state routes 4, 12, 26, and 49 were not considered part of this collision analysis, simply because the county is already actively working with Caltrans to address collisions on those particular roadways. And so they just wanted to really focus on the other county maintained roadways that need additional help and support. So that is why you will not see any Caltrans facilities showing up on any of our high injury networks, any of our collision data. Going to the next slide, if we break this down a little bit, again, just looking at your fatal and severe injury, we had 96 total of those. Your yearly trends for your KSI collisions, which is the dark green line on the bottom, and your injury collisions, the lighter green on your top. You see that they remained rather consistent through 2020 through 2022. They did spike a lot in 2023, especially your injury collisions, and then they trended back down in 2024. You can see the map on your right-hand side where all the fatal and severe injuries occurred on a countywide level. Go to the next slide, and then we talk about the daily trends. You have a dip on Thursday evening for both your KSI collisions and your injury collisions, and then they remain consistently elevated throughout the weekend, spiking there on your Saturdays and Sundays, again, for your KSI and for your injury collisions, Whenever I say KSI, that means killed in severe injury. My apologies for not pointing that out before. If you look at your monthly trends, you see that they start rising there in your summer months, June and July. They take a dip a little bit in August, and they kind of maintain their level through the fall months, and then maintain pretty consistently again through November and December as well. But it seems like your summertime trends or your summertime months are where these collisions really are most occurring. Your location county-wide, you can see that for KSI and injury collisions, the super majority of those occur on your roadways. This is backed up with some of the other data that we're going to show you in just a little bit, and then the rest occurring at your intersections there within the county. The injury collisions by mode, your passenger car or pickup truck, again, has the highest amount, with motorcycles with your second amount. We'll go into the motorcycle collisions a little more in detail a little bit later, because that is a mode that is something that we need to especially focus on here in Calaveras County. Looking at the next slide, we talk about the violation category. Usually improper turning, you can see, has 41 to 45% of the injury collisions and KSI collisions. Next after that is your DUIs occurring, your most KSI collisions at 32% under DUI, and then unsafe speed is in your third most, and then you have all the other ones after that. Then your injury collisions by collision type, your hit object. So whenever we talk about hit object, that usually does mention, or that does usually refer back to your motorcycles, or also a vehicle running off the road or sliding into something off the road. That could be a tree, that could be, some sort of a buffer that's already there along the roadway, on the side of the roadway. That's usually what a hit object is. And then you have overturned. That's where, again, some of your motorcycle vehicle collisions may account for some of that. With your broadside head-on, the vehicle pedestrian, and then rear end side swipe really being on the lower end of this scale. If we look at the next information, again, motorcycle collisions do seem to be a very high number there in Calaveras counties. And so whenever we take a look at those only, whenever you look at your fatal and severe injury, you have 36 that involve motorcycle collisions, and then your visible injury, complaint of pain, for a grand total of 69 total of injury collisions. Motorcycle collisions by location, again, your roadway segments, which tracks 69% to 65% for KSI and injury collisions, and you can see the cluster of them there on the map on your right-hand side. If we continue looking at the collision analysis findings for motorcycles, we can see that, let's see if you can switch the next slide. There we go. So your yearly trend, again, they remain consistently through 2020 through 2022, spike in 2023, and then start to go back down in 24. The collision by collisions versus injury collisions, you can see the visible injury has your highest amount at 164, with your visible injury being 25, motorcycle collisions, your fatal 8 and 21 as well, complaint of pain. So while the motorcycle collisions, you still have your fatal occurring, you can see that really the visible injury and your complaint of pain is something that we need to take a look at as well. These mainly are occurring during daylight, as you can see there on your lower right-hand side, 72% of KSI collisions and 80% of injury collisions, and the rest of those really during the dark with no street lights. Again, that would make sense along the roadways within some of the more rural parts of the county itself. So looking at the next set of collision analysis findings, you can see that hit object and overturned are your highest for motorcycle collisions, and then your motorcycle vehicle collisions by violation categories with improper turning. Again, that's turning actually, into something, or turning to where they, land on their side and cause a collision that way. And then DUI, unsafe speed, and the wrong side of the road kind of make up the next set of cluster where we talk about the motorcycle collisions themselves by violation category. If we look at the next slide, so breaking down into District 2 itself, we have a total of three fatal collisions, 20 severe injury collisions, 31 visible injury, and 26 complaints of pain, for a total of 80 within District 2 during this time period. If you go to then the next slide, we start breaking these down. Again, the yearly trend. Interesting for District 2, it peaked in 2022 and then has steadily gone down through 23 and 24. Again, your roadways are your most deadly areas for injury collisions, 74% of the KSI, 68% of the roadways. And most of those involve your passenger car or pickup truck within District 2 itself, with a truck and then a motorcycle being the next in terms of the KSI collisions. So if you go to the next slide, you can see that improper turning is the highest violation category at 65% and 55%, with unsafe speed in the wrong side of the road making up kind of the next highest levels. And the unknown, typically what that means is that it just wasn't notated on the information or the collision report that was submitted by the Sheriff's Department. Again, daylighting, most of these do occur in daylight, 61% to 70%, and then dark with no street lights. Again, that tracks with the more rural areas of District 2. The collisions by type, hit object and then overturned, again, are the highest ones for District 2. We take a look at the next slide then. So what we have done is we take all that data and we start pinpointing that on a map. And you can see for District 2, you can see the roadways in the areas that are accounting for the most fatal severe injury and all the other injury collisions as well. So then that helps us go to the next slide, which shows the actual high injury network for the entire county. And so you see there for District 2, I know it's a little small, but you see for District 2, you can see C and E are your primary roadway segments within District 2 that are have the highest injuries within the county itself. So we go to our table on the next slide. So Little John Road from Kiva Drive to Town Square Road and Baldwin Street, from Jenny Lynn to State Route 26 are your two highest within the county. But then you can see number 3 or letter 3, Railroad Flat Road from State Route 26 to Sheep Ranch Road, and then E, which is Mountain Ranch Road from Sheep Ranch Road to St. Charles Street. You have these again in your top high injury networks overall for the county itself. But those are the two district, 2 corridors that are within this high injury network itself. If we go to the next slide, so we're going to go into the public outreach component. I'll let Melissa take that over, but I know that I went through that collision data information really quickly. And so when we get to the discussion or the questions part, we can certainly go back and review any information that we need to, because I do realize that I went through that really quickly, and it is a lot for people to take in as well. So with that, I will turn it over to Melissa and let her talk about probably the most important component about this, which is the interactive map tool, and also how you can give your feedback opportunities online for us to take a look at as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. So for the plan, the county has created a web page, which is accessible via the link listed below, which is safestreets.calaveras.gov.us, as well as via the QR code shown below. On the web page, general information regarding comprehensive safety action plans is provided, including FAQs. Specific to this plan, the project timeline, project documents, and upcoming public meeting information is provided. Additionally, the web page includes a How You Can Help section, whereby you can provide your input in 3 different ways: the survey, which is upcoming, the interactive map, and the project sign-up sheet. For the next 2 slides, I'll conduct a live demonstration of the interactive map. So from the web page, you could scroll down to the How You Can Help section. And then you'll click on the interactive map box, which leads to the interactive map. The interactive map allows you to add location-specific comments to maps. In the interactive map, you can input a new comment or rate an existing comment. To input a new comment, find your location by entering an address in the search bar or by zooming into the location. At your location, click the Add Marker button and click on the location in the map where you'd like to place your marker. In the pop-up box, select your comment category. Options include walking, bicycling, driving, motorcycling, kids in school, and safety. Add your comment and input your email address. Note, an email address is required. However, your email address will not be shared with the public. And then click Submit to submit your comment. You can also rate an existing comment by going to the comment and selecting an up or down rating. That's it for the live demonstration, and I'll pass it back to Mark.
Okay, great. And again, we can go back through that if we need to, if anyone has any questions about the project webpage. So why are you here this evening? Why have you taken time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us and listen to this presentation? Because we consider you as a safety champion there within Calaveras County. What we are asking is for you to review and provide input on this comprehensive safety action plan. We want you to tell us about safety-related issues in your specific community, but then also on, around the county overall. What have you heard from your neighbors? What are areas within your specific area that you are most concerned about? Are there particular routes, either emergency routes or common transit destinations within the county that are especially important or problematic or challenging for yourself and also for your neighbors? And we also want you to share the project details with your other neighbors, your other community members, to help them increase awareness and involvement in this project. Again, with the project webpage that Melissa just went through, using that interactive map tool will be especially helpful again to us, because the data tells us only one thing, but if there are other areas within the county that are also problematic that we need to take a look at, part of this comprehensive safety action plan, one of the goals of that I went over is for us to be proactive instead of just reactive. We already know where problem areas are within the county. We just want to be proactive and know where there are additional areas that maybe there aren't specific collisions occurring, but that are still dangerous or considered challenging within the county itself. So that's why we really need and appreciate all of the community input that's going to be occurring within the next couple of months with this project. If we go to the next slide, I think this is where we have discussion and questions. Again, want to open it up to the group. Again, everyone that's taking their time out of their evening to participate, let us know any questions. I see some hands that are already going up. And so I think, Sarah, you're the one that's, I think, monitoring this, correct? So I see Patrick has his hand up.
Hello, Patrick Roy from Valley Springs. I'm outside of District 2. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Yes, we sure can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Although I'm outside of District 2, at least 3 of the line items shown on the incident chart are in my immediate area. And it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, the focus of this meeting is more directed towards what highway improvements are necessary, but I feel that that's the wrong approach for the traffic situations we're encountering in the county. Most of our accidents, I don't have to look at the data to know I'm accurate, fall on inattention, excessive speed, intoxication, and just reckless driving. So there's no one road, lane, or highway that's going to jump out and take the lives of the people that live here. It's all happening from human actions. And it seems to me that increasing the scope or the priorities with our law enforcement teams on traffic safety oversight, issuing citations, helping keep our roads safe would have more of an impact on expanding public safety. Even motorcycles, yes, they're a problem. Even by your own graphs, it shows that the open roads is the most frequent occurrence taking place there, which we might presume that passing is taking place or excessive speed. Um, Head-on collisions are occurring that take lives. I'm familiar with a few of them. I had one motorcycle accident down below me on Milton Road where the guy's excessive speed um, placed him in contact with a guy wire on a telephone pole with predictable results. So speeding, that's something that law enforcement can easily address. Reckless driving, again, easily addressed. Intoxicated drivers, for whichever reason, again, easily addressed. But we have to increase focus of law enforcement in that area. And the upside of that is that increase in focus would also increase revenue to the county. We have something like 43,000 people that live here and unknown number of visitors. But if we take a third of the 43,000 as active drivers, not too many people can go without committing some kind of traffic infraction in any given mile. Now, you only have the severity of the infraction to use to justify what kind of enforcement action you may wish to take. May it be a citation, may it be a warning or something along those nature. But we could paint more lines, we could widen roads, we could put in traffic barriers, paint bicycle lanes for basically that's kind of a wasted feature because few people would use it, mostly because of our terrain. But those things would be a waste of money. If we're looking for a money grab, yeah, those things, that's a great way to go. But if we're looking to actually increase traffic safety and public safety, increasing law enforcement focus on traffic violations would be a much, much more prudent direction to take. Thank you. That's all I have.
Sure. And Patrick, thank you for those comments because we're done. I'll let you follow up. We do consider, we call them non-engineering recommendations or countermeasures. And most of what you were just talking about is what we would consider as part of this as well. Is there enforcement that needs to be stepped up? Is there education programs, especially when it comes to like DUIs or something that we need to work with the county to roll out to have people become better drivers, or just more, cognizant of their surroundings, being more aware. So really do appreciate your comments because you are correct. There's only so much that actually engineering we can do to help cut down on collisions. But it really does come down to, and particularly if that's the case in Calaveras County, of where we need to think about those things outside of typical engineering recommendations for us to consider as well. So thank you for those comments. And Ruth, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'll let you to follow up.
No, I think you answered that perfectly. And Patrick, you're absolutely right. Like throughout the county, it's not only this particular district, but every single district that we have looked at has very high collision number of collisions, I should say, for unsafe speed and DUI. DUI is pretty high up there. So just like Mark said, this project follows a safe system approach. And safe system approach means, it's safer people, safer infrastructure, safer roads. So, but just like Mark was saying, just doing one of the or considering one of the solutions, engineering or enforcement or education by itself, is not going to solve the problem. So, in this project, we are not going to only recommend engineering solutions, but we are also going to recommend some enforcement and education solutions, so that we can attack this issue or this concern from all the directions to see if we can get that collision rate as low as zero. So, but we need to start somewhere. So that's what we are trying to do. And your comment is really valuable in this whole process. So we will note this down and we will definitely in the next following meetings, we will come up with some solutions, and then you can tell us whether you like those or you want us to refine them.
Okay. And then I saw two hands kind of go up simultaneously, but I think Autumn was the first one up, maybe by a hair, and I believe that's our supervisor for this district. So let's go ahead and have her give her comments as well. Thank you for joining.
Yes, of course. I wanted to jump in real quick. A number of community members who are unable to get on for one reason or another. And I will share the notes extensively with the Public Works Department, but definitely speeding is an issue. In District 2, we have a lot of very narrow roads. So the impact is fairly significant. A lot of areas could greatly benefit from some widening of the roads. There's some areas that are within the Butte Fire burn scar that roads were pretty much completely rebuilt, and they were rebuilt very narrowly. And in District 2, there's a lot of large trucks towing trailers, towing livestock, and it's dangerous. At best, on any given day, you're driving very defensively. So widening roads, I think, would be a huge asset. In addition to lowering speed, there's a lot of areas that could utilize some speed tables, some speed reduction measures. There's also the other side of this, that a lot of people drive very slow on our narrow, winding roads, and I often will see vehicles passing unsafely around corners, over double yellow lines. So another measure that I think would elevate our safety is more turnouts. If we could develop some more spots for turnouts on Mountain Ranch Road, Railroad Flat Road, Highway 26, Ridge Road, give opportunities for people to just pull over safely and avoid, cars piling up behind them and wanting to pass them. Other areas you'll see not only the turnout, but the sign that will instruct, slower traffic must use turnouts. And I think just some quick measures like that would greatly help the safety on the roads in District 2. And then some guardrails in some of the treacherous spots where it gets very icy in the winter, where it stays icy all day long. We sadly had a death this last winter along a spot that is very shaded, very icy, and some guardrails could make a big impact and avoid another unfortunate incident. So that's the basics. I'll let it move on to LD. I know she had a hand up, and I will follow up with some more details on these things. Thank you so much.
Autumn, I would definitely like to say that those are some extremely amazing countermeasures that you mentioned. And we have actually started looking into it. We are at a very, very preliminary stage, and I think we have covered pretty much 90% that you have mentioned so far. That would be our proposal. Again, it really depends on these meetings as to how far we can go. But I do want to let you know that yes, we can do ball bank studies. We can put more signs. We can do studies for making sure that there is a safe lane change and pull out areas. All that is doable except for widening the road. So this particular program does not allow us to recommend widening of roads. So
Okay.
I just want to let you know that before we start building your expectations on that we are restricted with that particular countermeasure. But other ones we have actually started looking into it, and we will dive into it more. And hearing that from you, that you will be, you know, you, I think you and your community and everyone around um, are ready to accept those kind of countermeasures. That kind of puts us in a very good situation here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. And then I think we did have another hand up as well. And I don't want to butcher your first name. Yes, go
You're
ahead.
fine.
Thank you.
You're fine.
I could try it, but I don't want to offend you. So
No, you're fine. I just want to say, so my name is Eldemir Chavez. I live in District 2, but currently I work for Public Health on a Office of Traffic Safety grant. So I just want to start off by saying, Autumn, you're speaking my language right now.
You're in there
Um,
soon. Uncle John's in there.
even, yeah, even just so my husband worked for our public works department on the roadway. Even just chip sealing, especially during our icy months, you know, a lot of our road isn't chip sealed. Chip sealing is basically you know, rock within creating some kind of traction. Um, on our roads, especially in those very icy areas. I live in Mountain Ranch. Um, I see Autumn's unsafe practices all the time. People driving slower, people passing, even just like the other day, we have some, you know, mobile homes being put in, or those modular homes, must I say, being put in up the road. A lot of the people are rebuilding from the Butte fire, right? So a lot of those trucks, they don't even fit down our roadways. Then I understand infrastructure grants, they're really hard to come by, especially widening, you know, those roads and stuff. I understand that. But from a public health perspective, like there definitely does need to be a little bit more education and Patrick, to your point, I do agree that there needs to be a lot more patrol and enforcement. The only thing with that is that our sheriff's office, they do their best, but they are not trained in our so prized field sobriety testing or standardized field sobriety testing. That's what it is. They're not trained in that. So, and I'm trying to get them trained, but what they're coming across is that because we are limited on highway patrol here in our county, I think the last time I checked, we have 12 patrollers, and we have quite a big, large roadways. I believe I spoke to Scott Anderson, and their public works department maintains a little bit over 300 square miles of road. So when you think about that, right, maybe you have two shifts that are 12 hours, so you only have six patrollers going out in that time. That's a lot of coverage to kind of cover. And our sheriff's office, you know, they work really hard, but sadly, when they pull someone over who has a DUI, sometimes they have to sit there and watch them get sober for CHP to come and do their thing. Because of legalities, sometimes that case will get thrown out if the sheriff's office kind of sits there and does the paperwork. So having these officers trained would help combat some of those DUI stuff. You know, they won't have to, if they're patrolling in West Point, they won't have to maybe wait for a patroller to come from Copper. So those are kind of, you know, things that we're working on behind the background of like public health. But I think there's a lot to kind of be done, especially if our vision is zero by 2050. We rank very high in DUIs, motorcycle accidents. But I guess my question is, to you, what is it, Mark? Did you look at data analysis on age? Like, do you have that broken up by age and collision? Because that's kind of what I'm a little bit more focused on, is like the age component, right? Like, is it our older populations? Is it kind of like our young new drivers? Like, what is the age of kind of these kind of accidents? Because on the public health side, there's not a lot of data, and public health is like very new to kind of this realm. And I'm kind of wondering like what the age is, like where we can help educate.
I can definitely get you that data. We have that data. It's just that we don't have it handy right now to show you, but we can definitely share that data. And would you like
Okay.
for the entire county, or do you like to see only for a particular district, or both?
Um, Honestly, I mean, I'm boots on the ground. I would really love to see the whole county. I mean, District 2 is my area because I live here and it is my community. Um, and but I would really love to see kind of across the board kind of what you guys have because I know you're not only focused on District 2, you're probably focused on District
Correct.
5 too because we have, um, we have there's a lot to our county, there's a lot to it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So we have data that is for the entire county, and we have data that is broken down into different districts also. So we can definitely share that data. Also, I would have to talk internally. We have a very simple um GIS dashboard. I'm not sure if we can directly make that available to you, but that there is a lot of data there too. But I do have a follow-up question for you. I know that
yeah.
you and suggesting or proposing those programs for enforcement and training for the sheriffs and all that is also we could also make that a part of this program. Do you know of like very specific funding mechanism that could help you to get funds to do those things?
So our Office of Traffic Safety grant provides the education,
OTS?
and we'll provide, yes, the training and stuff. And we've been working with them on getting. It won't happen this grant cycle. We're hoping the new grant cycle in October that we kind of get some trainers out here to be able to host one here. And then the sheriff's office will be able to send however many, officers they can um, allow to kind of go to a training like that. So I've been in the works of it. And then as far as like other trainings I do, I'm a car seat technician. So we'll host car seat trainings. We also give away seats, things like that. But I also go to Bret Hart High School and I teach what's called impacting driving. And
Hmm.
I just teach the or the teenagers just the that distraction or behind the wheel kills basically it's their slogan. So
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Uh, I think the district is, or I would say the county is really lucky to have you because there are so many other agencies we have worked with, and they don't have this kind of a training program or even a person who is already trained to train someone else. So I think they're very lucky to have you.
no, thank you. Thank you. It's traffic safety is kind of my passion.
So I wanted to follow up, like Ruta said, we'll get you the specific information. I was looking through the information that we've already shared with the county, and it seems like we gave them all of the information and bar graphs except for the age, but we did notate that it seems like between the ages of 21 and 34, you had the DUI impacting that age range
Yeah.
the most from what we could see.
Okay.
But like Ruta said, we will get all of that breakdown to you, no problem.
Okay. Thank you guys so
And,
much.
and
Yes,
do we
thank
have,
you.
Melissa, can we get her contact information also? Because, um, you know, it would be a great learning from you if there are specific locations or areas that you have already targeted, because we can already see those areas in the analysis. But to kind of validate that would mean a lot because then we can come up with some really good solutions to uh, kind of mitigate those concerns that county has
Yeah, I
since you
can
have your boots
I'll
on the
drop my
ground.
yeah, I'll drop my contact information into the chat and then we can chat longer at another time.
Okay, that sounds
Yes,
good.
thank you so much.
And
Thank
also,
you,
Yeah.
Melissa.
you're welcome. I didn't go over it. Again, the survey is upcoming. That will include a little bit more questions. that we would like input on. But there's also this subscribe button here where you can input your email address and we'll keep you updated on the progress of the report.
Then I think Patrick had his hand raised again.
Thank you for the time. If permitted, I'd like to respond to Ms. Chavez's comments, her excellent comments on a couple of points. Number one is she brought up education and training, which is really good points. We could certainly make better use of that. But where the public is lacking, she mentioned that our sheriff's department is short on training for certain areas of traffic enforcement. I don't know how far this grant or how much of this grant could be used for expanding our sheriff's department or increasing their scope of training. But if that could be looked into, it could be quite beneficial. As far as education for the public is concerned, the CHP periodically has hosted some safe driving classes up in San Andreas. I think that could be expanded. That program could be expanded to other areas as well. And also the number of those classes could be expanded with, of course, the agreement of the Highway Patrol. One problem with these classes and course structures is the fact that a lot of our area residents will not be informed of them unless there's widespread communication of those events coming up. And I've noticed in our local social media outlets here down in this area, in the low end of the county, we have Burson Neighbors, Valley Springs Bulletin Board, Valley Springs Message Board, and Next Door. Message content relative to this meeting was very, very scarce. I saw it once on Next Door for the last meeting. I saw it once on Valley Springs Bulletin Board for this meeting. But that notification, type of notification, needs to be much more frequent and more widespread to get more public exposure and more public interest. So, yes, we do need to increase training, but it's not just on the civilian level. It also needs to be on the law enforcement level. As I have a family with a very strong law enforcement, all the way up to district attorney level background, I'm familiar with the trials and tribulations that is experienced at that level. But it's going to take everybody working together. We can't put it all on one side. I mean, it's like we don't have icing issues down here so much. You guys have in the high country, have a different set of difficulties to overcome. But we do suffer from several common maladies. We come back to the speeding, inattention, cell phones, whatever, distractions, just reckless driving, and DUIs. And those are big causal factors in our accident, injury, and fatality rates here in the county overall. It's consistent across the county. So how are we going to address that? Are we going to do that by improving the roads, allowing people to travel even faster than they do now, which has been the result of all the improvements on Highway 12 and Highway 26 between Rancho Calaveras and Linden? People just travel faster and they're more prone to passing now than they've ever been before. The same thing on 26 near Silver Rapids. Traffic is traveling at a higher rate of speed there than it ever has in the past. So we have more accidents. You use a short slang term, you put a cop sitting there with a radar gun and the speeds drop dramatically instantly. So do incident rates. So again, education, communicating to the public, the programs and opportunities that might be open for them. In my previous
Melissa, are you still there?
I am still here. I think Patrick just lost access.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was because I can. Did
Sorry,
you stop sharing
I fell
the
off.
screen also?
There you go. We got him
All right.
back. Sorry about that, Patrick.
Gotcha. Perfect.
My apologies. My browser dropped the meeting. Yeah, the wonders of IT. But so again, we have a lot of common problems across the county, and a solution is going to be rather common as well. How we get to that point is beyond me. At the county level, the sheriff's department level, the CHP level, and how they interface together to make that happen. Again, it's not something I'm familiar with how they're going to get there, but I think that's going to be the greater benefit from everything that's going on. But education, as Ms. Chavez mentioned, and training are going to be key elements for the public and our law enforcement agencies. So how we bring that together with expanded meeting notifications and training opportunities. Again, I don't know, but I'm sure there's opportunities there that can be taken advantage of. Thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you
Can I
again
add
for those
something really
comments.
quick?
Yeah.
Can I add
Absolutely.
something really quick? Yeah, this is Micah from the county. Also too, for everyone's awareness on the meeting, we have a TAC meeting that we're putting together as well. And it has key stakeholders of these various organizations that we're speaking about, Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, other departments throughout the county, Caltrans, and so on. So, we can have these discussions as part of our TAC meeting on how, we include those groups moving forward with regards to communication of these meetings and the feedback we're getting from the public. And they'll certainly have some input, and they'll be a resource to us as we continue to develop this plan. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware that there is another effort outside of these public meetings where we intend to engage with those groups for feedback and input as a resource for this effort. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. In fact, we have our first TAC meeting next Tuesday. So it was probably advantageous for us to have this conversation with the public for the first couple of rounds of public engagement right now, so we can kind of share with them what we've been hearing and kind of get their feedback as well on what their capability is as well. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns? Because really the next step in the project is we're going to continue, as Ruta mentioned, we're already kind of looking at the collision profiles for the county, those areas, those things that are really apparent to us. But as I've mentioned also, that it's important for us to get a lot more of the community feedback for those things that we can't see or we don't know about. And so we will continue having our district meetings. 3 will be next week, and then 4 the week after that, and then 5 the week after that. So we'll continue to have these meetings virtually, and then we will then start developing based off the feedback we get, looking at the data, talking to the TAC, as Micah mentioned, we will start developing our kind of draft countermeasures. Will we be presenting those back to the community in in-person meetings later on to get further feedback and comment. So is there anything else, Armando or Mike, anybody else from the county? Anything else that we need to go over real quick? All right. Anything from the TJKM side, Ruta or Grishma, anything I'm forgetting?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Melissa, you want to wrap it up? Like you said, we will have this, recording this will be available, and then we will also be able to have the presentation uploaded to the project webpage as well. So anything else, Melissa, on your end?
Correct. Just as noted, please go to the project website, and if you want to be updated on the project, please sign up for notifications, and we'll give you notification for upcoming public meetings, for when the countermeasures are developed, when the survey is available for your input as well. So please sign up so we could stay in communication with you.
Okay, and then I think Patrick has his hand up one more time. Yeah, Patrick.
I'm sorry. Would you mind publishing the website URL one more time so I can make a note of it? Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity tonight.
Yeah, Melissa, I can't see the presentation anymore. I don't know if that's just me or
I will turn it on one more time. Let me turn, no, it's, let me turn it on. So the website address is safestreets.calaveras.gov.us, and I'll drop it in the chat as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Again, thank you for everybody taking time out of their evening. We know everyone is busy, but again, we received a lot of really good comments tonight. Gives us a really good direction, again, to share with the Technical Advisory Committee that we have next week, but then also gives us more options, understanding about how to craft some of these countermeasures coming up, but then also in the upcoming remaining district meetings that we have, kind of understanding probably some of the concerns going in, and then being able to ask questions that are more specific about issues there within the county itself. All right, if there is nothing else from anybody else, I will go ahead and have the meeting end and let everyone get on with the rest of their evening. Again, want to thank everybody very much for participating tonight. And again, we will have further from District 3 through 5, we'll in the subsequent 3 weeks, we'll have those meetings as well. So feel free to, call in and participate in those as well. But please do spread the word about the project webpage, because again, that is where we really will need and want that input from the community to help us as we continue crafting these profiles and these countermeasures as well. So with that, Melissa, if you want to go ahead and stop recording, I think you can actually end the meeting if you want to.
Awesome. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.